Hello friends, recently I posted video over this particular event where I mentioned which marks you have to specifically use in order to reach the higher level, right? But I think guys, still many of you who is having the same buff, same mark size, but still unable to reach the higher level. So in this particular video guys, I will show the reports and also firstly I will specify how exactly you have to do your layers in your mix march, right? In the previous video also I shared the link to the mix march video, but let me show you right now how exactly your layer should look like. So guys, these are the layering that I mentioned in my mix march video, and exactly the same guys you have to do it. Now this is the example with March size 2.3 million plus that I mentioned in my mixed March video. So firstly guys, you can see all of these layers like 30k 30k and then below 10k 10k, and then in the ground you can see this 20k 10k 10k layers, and then 2k 2k layers, 1k 1k layer. Guys, do firstly do all of these layer exactly like this. Do not make any changes. What you can change, if you want, you can reduce down this some quantity within this T13 100k 80k. You want, you can put it up, and even within the ground you want 50k 60k, you can put it up, right? Rest these below one you have to do exactly the same, right? In the archer also, if you want to put up the more, then you can put up the more, otherwise do exactly the same. Do not change anything, right? In the mixed match calves plus ground, maximum quantity I suggest within the calves, and then the sum ratio within the ground. Usually in my mixed match video, it is the 70 to 30% ratio. In some scenarios, 65 to 35% ratio. And I will suggest guys, you also do the same. But when you have the difficulty, only then I will suggest that try to raise the quantity more within the ground, if in case you completely losing against the archer march, right? Otherwise, 65 35 70 30% ratio is what that you should do it. Otherwise, these below layers, guys, you have to do exactly the same, right? And on the basis of your mark size, adjust the quantity within the calves and the ground. So now, guys, this was about the mixed march, what you have to use it, right? And what also I was using it, right? And in the comments, guys, I see the players were getting the problem. I think, if I'm right, from the 195, right? So basically at these levels where all three marches are there, because at these level you can use your counter march, right? So at these level, firstly let me show it to you guys. All these three marches are there. As over here you can see the calves, archer and ground is there. Siege is missing, but at the next level you will see that the archer, calf and siege is present. So whenever we defeat these levels, guys, whatever is the last march, right? Suppose at level 200, last march is the siege march, so only the siege report will going to come up, right? As at 195 calves march is there, so calves report will comes up, right? So now guys, let's check it out the report what march I was using. So we will check it from the 195. At level 195 all three marches are there, right? So at this point, guys, I'm not using my senior march size buff because there wasn't any need. It is the 1.7 million march size level, and the 1600% buffs are there. You can see it is the calves plus ground mix. As of now, I think that I'm not even using the buffs properly, as I able to defeat these levels easily. So you can see it is the mix, the calves main, and then the crop ground quantity and the layers below, right? As accordingly what I mentioned in that particular image, guys. And this is the calves march, guys. As last march was the calves in this particular level, right? And we have defeated all three marches, right? Now let's check it out the 195, then level 200 where all three marches are there. On the basis of the damage, I think the last march was the siege march, so siege report is coming up again. Not using my senior march size buff again. It is the calves plus ground mix. Let me show it to you guys. You can see it over here. I'm using the same to defeat the all three marches. So this was at the level 200. Let me show you guys at the level 205, right? Again, I'm not using my senior march size buff, 2.7 million march size. Again, the almost same kind of the buff, ground plus calves, right? And you can see the almost the same kind of the layer, while little quantity more within the ground as compared to before, and these are the my layers, right? As I just shown in that particular image, right? And the report coming as a ground one, as last March was the ground one. This was at the level 205. Even at the level 210, I'm using the same March, 2.7 million March size, right? And these are the my buffs. I'm again using the same March, as you can see it, as I mentioned in my previous video. Have general as a main, ground as a assistant, and this is the ratio what I'm using at these level, right? My ground and my caps and ground mix, right? In clearing these levels, right? This is the archer march, right? 1850 1800% plus archer march, right? At these level all three marches are there. This was the level 210. Now let's check it out, the level 215. Even at the level 215, guys, I'm using the same march size, 2.7 million. Still I'm not using my senior march size buff. Here 1900% buffs are there. Same march I'm using, caps plus ground. You can see my buffs, and again the same kind of the layering I'm using, right? You can see my ground quantity as well, my caps quantity as well, right? And then the below layers, as I mentioned in that particular image, right? What you have to do for your mixed march layer. And this is the caps march, guys, right? All three marches are there in this particular level. Caps was the last march, so that's why the caps report is coming up, right? This was there at level 215. Now let's check it out, the level 220, right? Where the all three marches are there. Now from the level 220, guys, I started using my senior march size buff. Again the buffs are still the same, right? And again I'm using the same march, caps plus ground mix, right? And you can see my layers as well, ground quantity, caps quantity, right? And the below layers, and against the this is report is coming as a siege one, but all three marches are there at this particular level. This is the level 220, right? Now let's check it out, the level 225. At 225 again my senior march size buff, right? And again my buffs are exactly the same, and again I'm using exactly the same march, little more quantity right now you can see in the grounds. And this is my big caps layer, and then all the layers, till the bottom, as I mentioned in that particular image, that you also need to do it. That is must to do it, right? And the ground report is coming up, but all three marches is there at this particular level, right? Now let's check it out, the level 230. This is the level 230, guys, 2.5 million plus march size. This is my senior march size buff, 3.1 million. And again almost the same kind of the buffs are there, little less here we can see in the mounted, right? And 2000 plus buff march is there. And this is my layering in this particular level. You can see I'm using the little bit ground layer on the basis of requirement, because caps march wasn't present at the level 230, right? And this is the archer march, right? And I'm able to clear this particular level as well. Now afterwards, level 231, 232, 233, 234 I did while using my counter march, right? And afterward it is the level 235, right? Where the march size is there at the 2.8 million, that is almost reaching around what is the my total march size, right? There is a 300k proof difference only, right? And the buffs are also the 20.100% buff, right? I think that till right now, guys, I wasn't using my all the buffs. I use my super buffs. I use those 50% buffs as well. Now you can see my 1600% caps and some more buffs within my ground as well. But still, I was getting the difficulty in terms of clearing the last march, that is the mounted march, right? I was able to clear the ground march, archer march, but still I was getting stuck at the caps march, that is the last march at the level 235. So suppose, guys, if in case you have the 3.5 million march size and you have the same kind of the buff, you can easily clear the level 235 as well, right? Now let me show you guys afterwards, after level 236, 237, 238, 239, you can easily clear even using your counter marches as well, right? Now at the level 240, guys, it is the same pattern, just the march size is more, right? You can see the 3 million plus march size is there, and the same kind of the marches are there at each and every level, right? So you have to use exactly the same mixed march, just adjust the quantity within the ground and caps on the basis of your outcome, right? And you would be easily able to clear it. If you have the 4 million mark size, guys, I don't see why you should be stuck even at the level 240, right? You should be easily able to clear the level 240 as well, and even this level 245 as well, because total mark size is around the 3.3 million, right? If you have the 4 million mark size, you should and must be able to clear these levels, right? Just do the layering exactly what I have mentioned, right? And you should be able to do it if you have the same buff or more buff, right? So, yep, guys, I think this is about the reports and the layering that you have to do within your mix match, right? So, I think, guys, yep, this is it for this particular video. And thank you, guys. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you all in the next video. And bye bye for now.